That's it. Smile.
I'm doing my smile. Hi, everyone. I'll explain that in a moment. Welcome to the Inspire View Series 2016. I'm Cherrise Boucher of CherriseBoucher.com, and I am a women's reinvention specialist, life coach, and energy healer. A little bit about this series, just in case you're jumping in and missed all of 2015. You can certainly catch up with those, but I'm really excited to be doing this for the second year because my mission with this series really is that I believe every woman on this planet should be truly connected to her genuine self, listen to her heart, and follow her dreams. And sometimes we lose that a little bit because, life happens. You become a mom or any number of things where you put yourself kind of on the back burner. And I think it's really important to reconnect with that woman that you genuinely are. And sometimes all you have to do is get inspiration from listening to other women's stories. So that's kind of why I'm doing this, and because I love to talk to everybody. So, so let's see what else. All these women I've connected with in the past year, which you can watch their interviews on my YouTube channel or on my website, have all had these amazing stories to share that led them to where they are now. And every single one of them has like insight and tips that they share to help you get to where you want to be in your life too. So I say, get your ass out there and nurture the spark that feeds the fire of your passion. So today I am super excited to introduce you to a fairly new friend of mine. We've known each other for a few months, Sorcha McAloon, whose name in Irish means brightness, and she truly is. She spends her time living in North Ireland and traveling much of the year to Perth, Western Australia, therefore avoiding all those Irish winters, which I'm sure many people would love to do. She was a police officer in North Ireland before getting injured, and her career on the beat ended. She's now an advanced EFT, emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping, and Matrix Reimprinting Practitioner, and absolutely loves it. So welcome, Sorcha. I am so excited for you to share this, because this whole thing, and I'll share as we're talking, I'm sure, was totally not what I expected. So I'm excited that you're here.
Thank you so much. It's so good to join you. I've been really enjoying this series of yours.
Oh, good, good. And we're all like, what's so awesome is that I've been finding more and more, and especially doing this series and connecting with other women who share, a lot of us share the same desires and everything. And it doesn't matter where in the world you are. It's like we're all connected in that sense. And so many of us just make like fast friends, So I think it's what's wonderful. And I don't know, maybe it's that way for guys too, but I wouldn't know. So that women are so supportive of each other and sharing their dreams or being there for whatever reason, just to listen sometimes. So I've been loving making all these connections everywhere.
Yeah, it's pretty strange and a surreal life to live now when you live over cyberspace, or I like to have cyber coffees with my friends. So, I really love that time, because then you don't feel so distant from them, or you don't feel as homesick, and the connections you get to make with people that you would maybe never have before. So it's good to have your very own cheerleading squad, as I call it.
That's right. It is. It is. And especially in the entrepreneurial world where you are often by yourself, it's awesome to have those connections where you can be like, I'm feeling like shit today, can somebody cheer me on? And there's somebody there.
Yeah, it's like, because it's very lonely, as you say, you're in front of your computer all day, you maybe speak to nobody, and you haven't maybe noticed that you haven't spoken to anybody for the whole day.
Because you've been talking to yourself.
Talking to yourself, and then you're like, oh Christ, I didn't speak to anybody today. Like, I'm Billy No Mates, I've got nobody. And yeah, it's you can get sort of wrapped up in your own world.
Right. You
You
can.
really can. And so it's great to have. I mean, I have to say, I'm so grateful for technology. I'm grateful to be able to see people and connect with them. And yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I'm loving it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Living
So
in cyber.
I know. But it makes you feel like you're not so far away. I mean, like we're a 13-hour time difference. And
That's,
so for me, it's first thing in the morning. And for you, it's you're getting ready to go to bed.
yeah, yeah, that's right. It's yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it?
I have a hard time wrapping my brain around that concept, especially when we're chatting like on Facebook or something. And I'm like, my God, what time is it over there? Go to bed already. And then you
Yeah,
go to
it seems
bed, but then you come back like a little while later. I'm like, I haven't even like done anything yet. How are you back? How did you go to bed and you're back already?
I know, I have to admit my sleep pattern is probably all over the place, and I do sometimes cope with very little sleep because I don't sleep great, and then there are other times that all I can do is sleep. I have to sleep, sleep, sleep. So I just listen to my body and do what's right for me, you
Which,
know?
yeah, that's important. That's important for
Mm.
us to do. I have to get regular sleep,
Mm.
or frankly, I'll be a big bitch. So,
But that's good. It's good to know yourself like that.
oh, I know.
You know, it's good to know that.
Okay, well, let's get into this because, as we both know, we could but just chat forever. So, I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about the journey that led you to becoming an EFT and Matrix, is it reimprinting? Yes,
Mm.
reimprinting practitioner, because
Mm.
I had never really heard, especially the Matrix part, I hadn't heard of before.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know about EFT or tapping or any of that until 2012. But I believe, it's been on the go since the 90s, but or the late 90s. So it was 2012, and at that stage I had already been in a really bad place for about 2 years of it was like depression. It was like um really struggling with life. I had to take a long time off from my work. I couldn't, I just couldn't get up every day, couldn't function. I was dealing with childhood abuse that I had maybe forgotten about for years, and then bang, hit me, and my life just came to an abrupt standstill. And I really was in a very low place, and I had tried everything. I had tried cognitive therapy, I tried psychotherapy, I tried counseling, I tried everything. Because I really was determined. I thought, I'm just not putting my life in like this. You know the way you hear of people who say, oh yeah, I've had depression for 10 years, or oh, I've been bipolar for whatever, or I've been sick for, and I thought, quite frankly, fuck that. That is
Right.
not putting in my life. Damn sure I've been putting this earth for something a lot more than that. And I had a really lucky experience in that I have a good doctor at home, a really supportive doctor. And she told me about it. She gave me a guy's card, and doctors aren't usually open to things like this. And that was a Tuesday afternoon, and I rang him and I came to see him on the Thursday, and that was it. That was the start of my journey with EFT. I got my life back on track pretty much. I started to feel the effects of it immediately after the first and two sessions, but then I stayed working with him every week for about 6 months. Because I really wanted to clear everything. I really wanted to do as much. And he started to encourage me then and said, you could really do this. But, I had my career. I was happy. I had no desire to change my life. So I didn't. I went on and was back at work, and then was dealing with being injured at work. So it's funny how the universe shows up for you and decides, well,
Right.
this isn't really going to be your path anymore. So that was a very difficult time because I was not prepared to give up my career. I didn't want to change my career. I loved my job. I loved it. And if I'm perfectly honest, I really do still miss it. I miss being out on the ground. And I did the course. I trained as an EFT and advanced EFT practitioner and a Matrix Reimprinting Practitioner for my own purposes, so that I could help myself and keep on working on myself. And it's really just evolved from that to where I realize, well, in actual fact, the world should know about this. People should not be spending their life struggling, existing, breathing, getting up, living through groundhog every day and calling it life, and struggling with some awful things that they're struggling with. And quite often they don't even realize what it is that they're struggling with. So the great thing about EFT and Matrix Reimprinting is that it helps tap into the subconscious mind so that they can access really what is stopping me from having my life.
So when you said that, because you went to a practitioner and then he encouraged you to learn the techniques yourself so that you could practice it, and you really just did it for your own personal reasons, do you feel that it's more effective to do it with somebody else kind of leading you through the process, or just doing it on your own?
I mean, I would maybe tap on myself every day. I tap on myself for different things, and that could be just to keep focus or to not procrastinate or whatever. However, when I'm dealing with my own shit, if things that come up and I'm having to deal with it, I still would need to go. I go to my practitioner. I say, I need a session because I'm stuck in this. I cannot get past it. And I mean, I'll try, and I'm advanced. I'm pretty good at what I do. I'll sit tapping and I'll go, fuck this. I cannot get past it. Not working for me. And I'll be sitting in front of him 2 minutes and bang, he's got it and sorted, cleared, gone. And I could be sitting for an hour tapping on myself going, Jesus.
Probably because your own mind, like,
you get in your own
way. In your way, yeah. So you're more relaxed if somebody else is guiding you.
Absolutely. We all get in our own way, no matter how good you are, you know.
Right.
It's like, didn't somebody said doctors don't treat themselves, doctors don't operate in themselves.
That would be gross, but
yeah, but it's like you don't self-treat yourself, it's
of course, right.
Get the help,
yeah,
and to recognize it,
right,
because your ego can kind of get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I do this? I can do this for other people, so why the hell can't I do it for myself? And you start this whole chatter, and yeah.
Right. Also, because maybe you can explain a little bit how EFT, like what it is, because there are probably people out there, probably not too, I don't know. It was fairly new to me at one point, and then it ended up not being what I expected at all. But maybe you can explain exactly kind of what that process is a little bit, in case somebody who's watching isn't sure.
Well, EFT, so emotional freedom technique, is also known as tapping, because that is quite literally what you do. You are tapping on certain points of your head, face, and body and hand. That is tapping on your energy points in your body, and where you're accessing the subconscious mind. You're accessing where your blocked energy is, so that you can release it, that you can release any negative charge that you may have due to traumas or issues or beliefs. And when you're tapping, you are actually sending a calming signal to the amygdala. So the amygdala is a part of the brain that deals with the fight or flight response. So it is your flight or fight response center that triggers constantly when you're stressed. So, a long time ago, at the time of cavemen, it was triggered when bears came to attack or your life was in danger. So the amygdala fired, you went into fight or flight, and it saved your life. But in today's society, what is happening is that the amygdala, which is only designed to be triggered occasionally, is being triggered constantly with stressful lives, with the deadlines at work, with sitting in traffic, with having to have maybe your kids in 2 places at once, all the demands that are put in your system. So boom, 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 the amygdala is going. It's constantly being fired up. It's constantly releasing adrenaline, cortisol, all of those things that just flood the body. And we're not designed for that. It's not what we're designed to do. And when you have adrenals like that flooding through their system, people get into adrenal fatigue. They have too much cortisol in their body, so therefore, you know, they hold on to weight and they can't let weight go, or they're constantly in a heightened state of stress, so therefore they're not thinking straight. They're not able to think clearly. And tapping quite literally calms that part of the brain down, so that then you are able to process things, you're able to make access and make connections and think much clearer, and able to then let things go. And that's really it in simplistic terms.
Yeah, that's what I like, those simple terms.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I had a session with you, and it was, to be quite honest, and I told you this when we got on the call, that I was like, what is this? I see people do this and it looks like it's just like for stress reduction. But it frankly seems kind of weird. Like, to me, I was like, well, if you're tapping like this, or you're tapping like this, that it just distracts you from your stress because you're tapping somewhere. But as I found out, it's a very different process. Maybe the matrix part is what really like kicks it into high gear to really get into the subconscious things that you didn't even know were laying there and affecting you.
Yeah, because I have a lot of people, you know, people ask me about it and talk to me about it, and they go, you know, I don't really do the emotional thing, and I don't do the crying thing, and I don't do, you know. So immediately there, you know that, so why are people not feeling the emotion? Why are they not allowing themselves to go there? And that usually to me says that there's a major block going on there, that they don't want to deal with that. So with Matrix Reimprinting, which I really love, Matrix Reimprinting has been, the founder of that was a guy called Carl Dawson, and that's who I did my training with. And Carl Dawson is one of the, I think there are 29 EFT masters in the world, and he is one of them. And he did his training with Gary Craig, who actually discovered EFT. So Matrix Reimprinting brings it to another level. You use EFT to access the subconscious mind, but with Matrix Reimprinting, scientists have found that your memory, that there's nowhere in your brain that stores memory. They can't find where memory is stored. So you have people like Karl Marx who talk about the matrix, who talk about the field, and believe that that is where memories are stored. And you get into morphic fields and it becomes a lot more complicated. But the matrix being where they believe that memories are held. So when you're accessing the subconscious mind and you're accessing the matrix, you're accessing maybe traumatic memories, traumatic incidents, issues. And to you and I, we could talk about a traumatic incident, and as adults, we mightn't think, well, that's not really a big deal. But what we're actually dealing with is the age, the child, where this incident, at the time this incident happened, and it was a child that perceived it to be traumatic. And we're accessing that memory. And by tapping and in Matrix Reimprinting, we're going into that memory and discovering what beliefs the child made about themselves, or the person made about themselves at that time. And it's believed that we make our beliefs and our belief systems between the ages of 0 to 6, around that time. And all the beliefs that you've made in that time are the beliefs that then you carry on throughout your life. Not necessarily always good beliefs. I think one of the biggest epidemics is the I'm not good enough belief, or I don't deserve. And you create situations in your life to reinforce those beliefs, because your beliefs help you understand who you are and they help you make sense of the world you live in. And so therefore you recreate situations to reinforce your beliefs so that your world makes sense. And the beliefs are not always in your best interest. So if you think you don't deserve or you're not good enough, then you're going to create situations that reinforce that. When we go into the matrix and we discover where that first belief was made, we can help go in and change the belief, not the memory, not what happened. We don't ever deny that, and we don't ever try to change that because it did happen. But we're changing the perception that the child made at the time and the belief that they made at the time, so that they can then reinstall a healthier, more, a much better belief that would help them in their life today. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it totally makes sense because I experienced that myself with you. And it literally, like, I think my thing that we were going to try out was confidence, and it led to something completely different. So I encourage people to, if they've never tried this, to contact you and try it at least one time, because it's going to change how, whatever perception you may have had about tapping or something in the past, if you haven't experienced it on that level that you're explaining, it's going to surprise you, and then you'll be telling everybody about it like I did. So,
yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah, because it's fine. Like anybody, anybody can tap on themselves for a headache or pain, but when it is the deep-seated belief systems and the traumas and issues, that is when you want to work with a practitioner. Nobody wants to delve into something that they, have no experience in, and especially when it's their own personal traumas. And it's the same for anything. It's the same for people who maybe have weight issues and believe that they can never, I'm just big boned, or my mom was fat, so I'm fat. And that's just belief systems. That's just belief systems they've bought into. And they're really powerful belief systems because they're really good excuses for not getting up of your ass and making a change. And I'm not just talking about maybe people with weight issues. I'm talking about people with money blocks, health issues, relationship issues. I can't, my parents got divorced, so I'll probably end up getting divorced, and they're all belief systems that people are running to make their life work, to make sense of their life. And if you want to change, then you really got to change what you believe about yourself and about your world. And one of the really effective, fast ways of doing that is EFT and Matrix Reimprinting.
Yeah, and I can totally see, right. I can totally see how that works, and how some people may be skeptical about it. But if you're skeptical, that's why you should try it, because it's very different. And does this work on people of all ages? Like, can children do this? And people who maybe are like 70 or 80 years old and who have lived their whole life with these beliefs?
Yeah. Well, actually, and I'm just going to say, when you went back to, when you said about people being skeptical, then, what I always say is, which are you more afraid of, change or staying stuck? Because you have a choice. And if you want to stay stuck, then, stop going on about it. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop being addicted to your story, the pity story. Keep it to yourself. If you want to change, then do what it takes. Be committed, be determined, and decide, what, it's non-negotiable. I've had enough of my own story. And I always say, it's only when people can't stand the smell of their own shit that they're prepared to get out of it.
That's so true. It's so true.
Love the smell of their own shit. They do. Oh, they love it. They thrive on the attention that they get for their story and the drama of their story.
Oh, yeah.
That's you enjoying your own shit.
Right. That's true. That's very true.
And it's only when they're fed up and bored with it that they can, move on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, sorry, to get back to the question. Yes. Any age group. You can actually tap on babies. Now, if you were tapping on babies, you would be very careful because you're tapping on the energy system. So you would only tap very, very gently, very lightly. There's also surrogate tapping. So I can tap on myself, but for somebody else.
Ah.
So a mother or a father or somebody could tap on themselves, but on their baby's energy.
Got it. Like sending, it's like a distance Reiki kind of a thing, if anybody's familiar with that.
I suppose it is, yeah. And definitely, absolutely. I read this week actually, of a lady who was 83, 84, who just completed her EFT training.
Wow.
So she has cleared some traumas from her childhood that followed her throughout her life, and now she has cleared them at 83 through EFT. So
that's awesome. That is
as long
awesome.
as there's breath in your body.
And isn't there always?
Yeah.
And new things come up. New things come up. So I imagine that this is a very useful technique throughout your whole life, because different things just keep coming.
I mean, it's I mean, I've spent a long time working on myself, and I've spent a long time working with a practitioner and investing in myself to really clear some big traumas. And, growing up in Northern Ireland, I certainly had big traumas with, the type of life we grew up with and the troubles that were going on. So I have worked at a lot of that. And only yesterday, I was really resistant to tap. I thought, but I did it. And a childhood memory of a trauma from troubles came up, and I was sobbing, cleared it. But you think you've cleared things, but they'll come up. It's like it's like the layers of an onion. It'll come up and you just keep peeling it. Or, I might feel very resentful or pissed off with somebody, and a few minutes of tapping will clear that. Because I don't want to hold on to that resentment. I don't want my energy to feel that negative and that angry. So, 15, 20 minutes, I can clear that, gone. Don't hold on to it, let it go. Or tap if you're tired. Tap if you can't be bothered doing the work. Tap if you think that you can't do the work, that you don't know how to do it, and it's just all too overwhelming and I've got too much to do on my to-do list. Tap on that. And that will calm it all down, and bang, before you know it, you're at your desk and you're having a great, great day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And also, I think probably, I mean, the reason why things too keep coming back up, I mean, these are beliefs that are like woven into you. So you're not going to change something just overnight.
Well, yeah. People go, well, how quick is this going to work? How many sessions am I going to need? And you're like, well, how old are you? How many traumas, how many issues, how many problems do you have? It's not a quick fix. Everybody wants the quick fix, the tablet that'll fix everything. For me, the day and hour I rang that practitioner, sat down in front of him, that was it. I was on a journey. I'm on a roller coaster journey, and guess what? There is no stop. I can't just get off the ride and go, I don't want to do this anymore, because I now know what I know, and I can't go back to not knowing.
Right.
And I don't want to go back to not knowing. My life is better for this. Okay, there may be tough times and tough days, but that's progress. That's me evolving as a person.
Right. And I think that's the thing too with this technique that you do, is that once you go through it, you know that thing that pops up. And so you remind yourself of that. You're like, oh yeah. So your awareness helps you change.
And I feel like, how lucky am I to know something so well, and I know it works. I know it changes lives for good. It works. Why would you give that up?
Right. Exactly. So when your practitioner said, hey, Sorcha, you'd be fantastic at doing this, did you have a block that you had to tap through to actually do it yourself?
Man. I fought him for a year. I kept telling him no. I kept telling him to just leave me alone, back off, that that was his opinion and he was entitled to it. And oh, I mean, I was feisty with him. He didn't have it easy with me. And I just told him that it wasn't for everybody and that fine if he's seen that in me, but no, it wasn't for me.
Right.
And then he just went on. And I started to think, maybe, and and I thought, right, okay, I'm going to give this a try, because so what, you know, I can use it for me. It's educating myself on something new, and that was it. Yeah, he could see what I couldn't see at the time, but that's just where I was at the time.
Right. And now he probably looks at you with this smug little grin going, I told you.
Yeah, he does. And he gets great pleasure in it. We're great friends, and we talk at least once a week, and we message each other, and he gets great pleasure in telling me.
I'm sure
I was right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I can't argue with him.
Right.
You know, I can't argue. So he was right. So, and I'm grateful. He gave me my life back. He gave me my life back.
And this now has become your passion. Because, you know, you're, and it's okay for people to have more than one passion. Obviously, your passion was to be a police officer. And for a long time, and you did that, and you didn't even want to let that go. And like you said, you still do miss that aspect of your life. But now, I mean, I can tell, like, when we talk about this, that you are like so passionate, and you so believe that this works, and you've seen how it helps people, other people, including yourself. I mean, that you've come through so much that you don't have to live in misery and accept it. You can change it. So so how has this changed your life, like now? Like,
well, you know, the power literally is in your own hands. You know, if I can tap on myself, and the power is in my own hands. And I think, you know, when I was in the depths of the darkest hole, and I really, Cherrise, I could see no way out. I could not fathom a way out, and I couldn't see myself agreeing to live that life. But at the same time, I thought, there has to be a reason. There has to be a reason I'm going through this. This cannot be for nothing. So now when I'm on the other side and I'm looking in, and I think, you know, my journey can't have been in vain. Everything that I experienced in my childhood, you know, childhood abuse, there was alcoholism in my family. You know, I remember horrific terrorist attacks. You know, then my injuries that ended my career that I loved. You know, all of those things, they can't have been in vain. Because now I don't pay lip service. I don't say to somebody, oh, I know how you're feeling. I really do know how they're feeling. I know where they're at. And I think, you know, if I help one person, even just by talking to them, if I help one person know, don't give up, don't opt out of your life, then my journey will have been worth it. I wouldn't change anything about what I went through. Even the darkest days, I wouldn't change that now for what I know.
Yeah. And I think that's so powerful.
Yeah. I wouldn't. And I can't explain to you the days that I just wanted to go to sleep and not waking up, you know. But I look now and I think, wow, imagine that I know when somebody is in that place, and I know how to help them and take them out of that.
That's a gift. That's a gift.
Yeah. And you know, just to let people know, this isn't your lot. This isn't as good as it gets. It can be better, and there are ways to make it better. You just don't know it yet. You don't know.
And I'm sure some people have probably said, oh, I've tried counseling, I've gone to a psychiatrist, I've done this, I've done that, and they're thinking they've tried everything. They've tried probably medication, and still nothing is changing. So, you know, here's another thing to try. I mean, why not? Right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I try, you know, everything that you listed, that was me. But I had that inner strength as well. And I really loved my family. So I thought, I want to be around, but I don't want to be existing. I don't want to be unpleasant to be around, but I want to be here. I want to be in my life. So I was the type of girl who was, well, I'm going to keep going till I find the thing that works for me, because there is something out there that will work for me. Something will click, something will work. And that's it. You have to be prepared. You have to say, you know what? No, I'm not settling. This is not my lot. And there is something that's going to work for me.
Yep. Stomp your foot. That's when I mean business. Stomp your foot and say, that's it. I'm not doing this. There's something else out there. And try it, because like you said, you went through like all the other things that I listed and nothing was really working for you. And now look at you.
No, I mean, and I could never, ever have imagined this, ever. I really, you know, all the times that my EFT practitioner said to me, I promise you, you're in for a better future. I promise you it gets better. I had to have blind faith. I had to trust. I had to. That's all I had to go on. I had nothing else. But I had nothing else to lose. I couldn't go any lower.
Right.
I was as low as you could get. So, you know, the only other way was up. So
Yep.
once you realize you deserve it, once you realize, you know what, I'm enough, I deserve to find the answers for me, then you go for it. You just keep on going.
Yeah, I think that's just awesome. I don't even know a better word for that other than that's awesome. And I think it's good too, like even if you're aware of, so, you know, like maybe you haven't hit rock bottom, but you know that there's something that's just kind of getting you stuck or something like that too. Like take your life and take your future into your own hands and try something that might just, you know, kick you in the ass to get you moving in the right direction before you get to that place.
Well, you see, that's what I was going to say to you. I was going to say that for some people, they don't have to reach rock bottom. We all have different levels of tolerance, what we're willing to tolerate. So for somebody, it might be, you know, this is bullshit. This is not good enough. I want more than this. Whereas, and somebody else could look at their life and go, oh my God, that, you know, if I could only just have their life. But for them, they might go, no, I want better than this. So for EFT and Matrix, it's not about reaching rock bottom. It's not about getting into that awful place. That's just my own personal story.
Right.
EFT and Matrix it's about really, really catapulting your life straight into what you want to go for. You go for it, and you use EFT, Matrix Reimprinting, to get rid of any block that is standing in your way. If you don't know what the block is, you don't need to worry about that, because that's what EFT is. Your practitioner will find out. Your practitioner will be able to work out what your block is and clear it for you, and clear it for good, so that you keep going on up to the next ladder, the next step in the ladder each time, till you get to where it is you want to go, and you keep on going.
So cool. It's so cool. It really is.
It could be as simple as wanting a promotion.
Huh.
You know, it could be as simple as that. Yeah, use it for that.
Yeah, anything from a simple thing to a deep rooted thing. That's just, it's just amazes me, actually. So
yeah.
There's such value in that, in learning it yourself, and then in having a practitioner to guide you through it, so you don't have to sit there with your mind getting in the way of other things.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just won't do it. You won't make the progress, and then you will think, oh, this EFT shit doesn't work. This is crap.
Right.
You know, this is what happens, and then people are like, that's bullshit. That tapping doesn't work. It doesn't work because you're not an expert in it.
Right. And you can't get past your own shit. That's why you're doing it.
You can't get past your own shit. That's exactly it. That's why you're going to do it in the first place. So, go and get the help. Invest in yourself. A lot of people are coming from the conscious mind. A lot of people are reading the self-help books and they're wondering why it's not sticking and why. Because you're coming from the conscious mind that's really only running 5 to 2% of the programs. The subconscious mind is running at 95, 98%. And it's the super program. It is what is in the driving seat. It doesn't give a shit what the conscious mind is saying. It's in the driving seat. It's what's running all the programs, running all your beliefs. And it actually interprets 20 million environmental stimuli per second.
Wow.
Per second. The conscious mind, 40.
It's incredible.
So it's a no-brainer. And EFT and Matrix Reimprinting is dealing with the subconscious mind, and that's where you do the work.
Fabulous. It's fabulous.
I love it.
Because see, it's like gotten dark in here. It started raining outside. So now I feel like I'm at the nighttime and you're at the daytime.
Yeah, no, it's 10:30 at night.
Oh. Well, I cannot seriously encourage people to give this a go enough, because have tissues handy, because even if you don't think you're going to cry like me, I'm not a big emotional person, which, is one of my blocks, I guess, right? That we discovered a little bit of, actually. So there's a share for you. I'm not a big crier because of things from my childhood that I uncovered. But it's and that was just one session. So it's incredibly powerful, and it's going to affect you in a way that you can't even imagine at the get-go if you've never done this before. That's right. It's very powerful. And Sorcha is just such a beautiful guide and so compassionate. And just knowing that she's probably been through worse shit than a lot of people have been through, that, your story is nothing she hasn't, dealt with or heard of before. It's very, very impactful, a very impactful technique that I'm glad that I'm more familiar with now, because I think it would be my go-to. Maybe not doing it myself, but probably using maybe for like simple things, like you said, like I'm just, I'm overwhelmed right now or something like that. But
exactly.
And do you have to do it in the order, or does it matter?
There is a sequence, and you go down the body, so therefore if you move down the points, but no, people, you don't get caught up in that. If you skip a point, it doesn't matter. It's not detrimental. If you sometimes if I'm in public and I need to tap, I will simply just tap there with my hands on my lap, or you can tap at the ends of your fingers, and sometimes I'll just sit doing that if I'm in company and in public and I don't want people to see, and that's even effective. But no, you don't need to get caught up on the tapping points.
Okay, that's good to know, because
when
some people think that they've got to do things in the perfect order. There's a right way, there's a wrong way.
It'll flow. When they get into it and when they do it, it begins to flow, that they don't have to think about it. The subconscious mind will take over and do it for them.
Ooh, how fun.
Muscle memory, and they'll not have to think about it. So yeah. And it's a life changer. It really is. And it gave me my life back, but it gave me a better life back, but it's a life changer.
That's just so awesome, really.
It's in everybody's toolbox.
Yeah, right. It's part of like self-care, right? Like people go for walks, or they watch their diet, or they go to the gym.
Meditation, or
right. Part of self-care. You could do this for a few minutes in the morning or something to jumpstart your day. It doesn't have to take a long time. No. You can do this for a few minutes, I assume, right?
Yeah, or if people do affirmations, tap while you're doing your affirmations.
Oh, easy peasy, combine things.
Yeah, do your affirmations and tap at the same time. Yeah, really
Fant-
enforce it.
Fantastic. I love
Yeah.
coming up with new self-care things, because I think so often we think, when somebody says, what have you done for self-care? You're thinking like, oh my God, like I've got to go to a spa and I've got to get a massage, or I've got to do a pedicure, or, something luxurious. But self-care, reading, taking time to read, taking time to even breathe. A few moments of that is like super energizing.
That's
So,
right.
so tapping can fit right in there with another little self-care moment that you can count. So if
Yeah.
you're keeping track of doing some sort of daily self-care, all these little things count.
And tapping, you can do it anywhere on anything, you know, everywhere. Doesn't matter, so you don't need to be, you can do it when you're sitting on the train or on the bus, or, just gently on your hands. So it doesn't have to be anywhere specific. Yeah.
And I like that, even the tip of the side of your finger, that's pretty cool, because I didn't know about that one.
Yeah.
But so you don't have to go around like tapping your head and then
No,
tapping under sitting on a
no,
bus. Somebody be like,
that's right.
this person's got some
Oh,
weird tick going on.
no. You're like, oh dear, love them.
Ah.
Feeling people feeling sorry for you. When you're sitting there going, smugly thinking, I've got this great tool that's life changing.
Oh, that's right. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, so you can do it as discreetly as you wish.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm sure that there are people that are like, how the hell do I get in touch with Sorcha? Because she's amazing. And she's got plenty of testimonials, let me tell you, too, from people that I know personally.
Okay.
So she is offering, it was 15% discount on a session, right? I'm looking
Yeah.
for it. I'm trying to scroll through some little notes that I have.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Yes. And
Yeah.
so, and it was anybody, I'll have a link to contact Sorcha on my website. Or you can also message her on Facebook and mention that you saw her interview. So mention my name, Cherrise, Boucher. There's not too many of us out there, so nobody will get confused.
Like Sorcha McAloon, yeah.
Yeah, not too many Sorchas, not too many Cherrise, at least not Cherrise Bouchers. So I'll have that link available for everybody, because I think that is, and just go to CherriseBoucher.com/the Inspire View series, and that'll put you right on the 2016 page where Sorcha's interview will be. And there'll be a little link to send her an email, and you can find her on Facebook. Is it Sorcha McAloon on Facebook?
Great. Sounds
Right.
good.
That's your name. It's just like your name on Facebook. It's not like
That's just me.
the crazy EFT lady or something like that.
The lady who makes you cry.
Yeah, she will. She will. You'll probably cry.
And it'll feel so good.
She loves to make people cry, to be honest
Relief.
with you.
The relief.
I had some blocks about crying. I did.
Yeah,
I
but you
did.
did well.
Because I'm supposed to be like some tough girl or something. I don't know what the deal is with that. I'll admit it. I'm admitting it to everybody right now. Bring tissue.
That in itself is freeing.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
Woohoo! Woohoo! Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, because I think it's so important to share things, tools like this with people, because so many people need things like this. And even if, seriously, simply like you're not attracting the money you want, techniques like this can help. And that's just crazy important.
See, tapping around money issues, that's stuff in itself. So it is. Yeah, it's a big, because it's incredible, the blocks that people have there. Incredible. So it's good. It's really effective for that.
Awesome.
And we'll notice changes very quickly. So yeah, get tapping. Tap that
Like
shit
a little
out.
magic elixir.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. Well, I will let you get back to your evening. And I will whip out an umbrella. And
Yeah.
I wanted to go for a walk today, but I don't
Oh,
really see that happening unless it lets up out there. But there's going to be a blizzard in other parts of the country. So I'm glad I'm not part of that.
Yeah, hibernate.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I
Oh,
look
thank
forward to
you.
hearing from people.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I'm going to push people.
good. Glad.
Peer pressure. You need Sorcha.
Yes, send them my way. I'm happy to talk to people about it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
No
even if
problem.
they have questions, like, is this really something that's
Oh,
going
for
to
sure.
help them? They should just totally message you.
Oh, I could talk about it. Oh, I'll never get fed up talking about it. So they can ask me anything they want. Anything at all.
Awesome.
Anything. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Sorcha.
Bye.
Bye.